Yankov Wong. I'm really excited today because we have three great cameras here that we are trying to, I wouldn't say a shootout, we are not trying to really compare them, but I really want to see if we put all these cameras into the field and try them out as if I'm doing a job, what would happen. What we're having here are three different medium format cameras. They're all using the same Sony medium format sensor, CMOS sensor, which is 44mm times 33mm. They have a very similar spec. But what we have here is a Hasselblad 50C with one 50mm lens and then one other 80mm lens. Both with leaf shutter, and then with the phase one is a 155mm lens and then one 80mm lens, also with leaf shutter. And then with the Pentax 645C, we have one 55mm lens and then another one 90mm macro lens with shake reduction. But for the Pentax, they don't have any leaf shutter for the time being. At this point, we really don't know what would happen, but since they all have the same sensor, we are expecting that the outcome would be very similar, though because of different raw development, because of different software, we might gain a different result. So for me, for tonight's test, my major concern is how am I going to interact with these cameras, and how is their ergonomics? How do they perform in field? So we'll see what will happen.
We're now in Hong Kong, Mongkok. The use of CMOS sensor in the medium format cameras is changing the game quite a bit. We seldom use the CCD-equipped cameras in low ambient light situations. And that's why the key of these few tests is to see how these three cameras perform in low ambient light situations or sometimes with flashes. The photo that we are seeing now, they are developed by Focus for Hasselblad, Capture One for Phase 1, and Digital Camera Utility 5 provided by Pentax for 645Z respectively. All noise reduction and sharpening are turned off. There are 27 selectable focusing points for the Pentax 645Z. The layout of button is very similar to most of the 135mm system more broadly used these days. The H5D processor True Focus technology they developed. When you have it turned on, the camera would actually detect the change of focusing distance when we recompose the framing after we autofocus. As a result, it is easier for you to get an in-focus photo at all times. It's the job of the flash to freeze the image. We're using the Profoto Pro B4, which is famous for producing very short flash duration. But since one of the three cameras, Pentax 645Z doesn't provide leaf shutter, that leaves us with shutter speed slower than 1/25 a second when we use flashes. Ambient light starts to leak into the photo at this speed, and that's why we are seeing a more obvious motion blur from its photo. Both Phase 1 and Hasselblad provide leaf shutters. That's why we can use a much faster shutter speed. A faster shutter speed and therefore a larger aperture. The power of the flashes would then be lowered. That means even shorter flash duration. Guess what? Sharper images. All these three companies are making their own software. However, I would really like to emphasize that Phase 1 is doing a great job on Capture One. It's not only providing the best image quality, the ease of use of Capture One is really a charm.